encapsulate pretty well my affinity for baseball. All right, so we're going to start with a little quiz. Why not? Quiz is the best. And I've got like 20 minutes, right? Anyone know what that means? 6 plus 4 plus 3 equals 2. Any
No
guesses?
idea.
What was that, Benito?
I said I have no idea.
No
I'm not a
idea.
baseball guy.
You're not a... All right. All right. That's okay. There's rehabilitation. All right. 6 plus 4. So every position, there's 9 position players on a baseball field at once. Each of them has a number. So 6 plus 4 plus 3 equals 2. That is a double play. So what that means is that the ball was hit to the shortstop, which is position number 6, throws it to the second baseman, position number 4, who throws it to the position number 3, the first baseman, equals a double play. Cool, right? Okay. It's not okay, and the K is backwards. Anyone understand what that one is?
Got caught looking.
Got caught looking. All right, so what that means is a K is a strikeout. So how you record in the books a strikeout is you write down the letter K. I have no idea why, but that's how they've done it for hundreds of years. When the K is backwards, it means that it was a called strike and the batter did not swing. So he got caught looking. In baseball parlance, it's not okay to sit there and be struck out just watching. So someone was watching, didn't swing, strike out. Bad. Okay, next one.
There's no crying in baseball.
Hey, there you go, Ricardo. Ricardo, there's no crying in baseball. There was years ago, and if you stick in through the rest of the talk, you might see it. There was a great Tom Hanks movie. Gina Davis, Tom Hanks, Madonna, Rosie O'Donnell. It was about the Rockwell Peaches. During World War II, baseball was suspended as many of the players were fighting in World War II. But there was a women's league that started up in the South, and there's a great movie that I just forgot the name of. I don't know.
A League of Their Own.
League of Their Own. Thanks. Is that Cheryl?
That was Julie. I got
Julie.
a baseball question right.
Nice. You nailed it. All right. So no crying in baseball is a great famous clip. I'll show you at the end here. No crying in baseball. Okay. Last one. In the letter 3, there's an up and a down.
3 up, 3 down.
3 up, 3 down. What does that mean?
3 batters went up, 3 batters got out.
Nailed it. All right. So these are some t-shirts from a kind of a fun baseball company called Baseball Isms. There's a culture around the language of baseball, which is kind of fun and cute, and you see some fun stuff there. Anyway, so all right, so good job. Pass the quiz. All right. Some of you have seen some of these famous quotes. This is from one of the Yankees catchers, Yogi Berra. He was pretty famous for his kind of mixed a lot of metaphors, said a little weird things. A couple of favorites of mine is "It ain't over till it's over," and you can observe a lot by watching. Those are kind of, you can get lost in if you do a Google search for Yogi Berra sayings, but these are a couple of my favorites here. Love is the most important thing in the world, but baseball is pretty good too. And maybe my favorite one, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. Okay. Yogi Berra was known for just going to do it. I think actually, to do a little sidebar, one of the challenges, I think, in higher education is we're really good at analyzing things. We're really good at talking about things, maybe a little less good at implementing and doing things. And so one of this Yogi Berra quotes here, when you come to a fork in the road, take it, and understand where those forks in the road go. But the point is, get going, do some action. All right, so a little bit about my journey in baseball. Okay, in the early 1920s, this is actually a picture of my grandpa, Marion Woolf. And he was one of, in southern Alberta and western Canada, there are a lot of farms. And what do you do while hay is growing? Or what do you do while beets are growing? You play baseball. And so baseball started for me and my family as early as my grandpa. He played semi-pro ball in the Canadian leagues, and it was just kind of a cool picture. We have this at our house. It just reminds us of kind of the legacy that we have. If you know my grandpa, which you obviously won't, he was a pretty great guy, and he always played catch with us when we were young growing up. We'd go play catch, or we'd play baseball or wiffle ball in the backyard. So it all started pretty early. All right, what's this? Where is this at? Any guesses?
Seattle.
Seattle. Yep. So I grew up in Spokane, Washington, about 4 hours east of Seattle. So our vacations growing up were one of two things: going up to Canada to see family, or see where our family was at, or my dad on with if the Seattle Mariners were playing a Saturday day game. We would wake up at like 5 in the morning. We'd go in he'd throw, I'm one of 6 kids. And so we'd hop in the station wagon. We'd drive 4 hours. We'd walk around the pier or the wharf in Seattle. We'd then walk to the Kingdom. That's a picture of the old Kingdom in Seattle. And we watch a baseball game for 3 hours, and then we drive home the same day. Made for a long day. He was self-employed. But I fell in love with going to the Major League Baseball games as a family. And the Kingdom is no longer there. It was just a concrete mess of a big multi-function space. Anyone ever been to the Kingdom? If you have, we can tell stories, but it was just a mess. It's been replaced. But here is actually a picture of me and my 2 other brothers. We had another brother come along the way a little bit later. I am on the left. So as you can see in that picture, I've got a baseball hat on. This is at Pike's Market in Seattle. We often go to the market before the game. You can see at the very bottom of the picture, I've got some knee-high socks. That's some sweet action going on right there. But anyway, it was me and my brothers. We would go hang out at the baseball game with my parents and our family. All right. A little bit of a gap in my teeth, same as the gap in my hair. Okay. As a result of going to all these Mariners games, this is a caricature of my favorite player. Anyone know who that is?
Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah, Ken Griffey Jr., the kid. Ken Griffey Jr. came into Seattle as Seattle was a horrible baseball team for a number of years. They were the original Seattle Pilots in the 70s, but they're one of 5 teams that have never been to the World Series. But when Ken Griffey Jr. came along, there was hope. And he played with his hat, he wore his hat backwards, which made a lot of traditionalists mad. He brought fun back to the game. And as there's I've got a Ken Griffey signed baseball in my office. It just reminds me of what's fun about life and fun about baseball as a game. So for me, baseball equals family. I want to talk a little bit more about that as we go through this. Okay. So I have one goal in life. I kind of joke about it, but I have one goal in life. I want to see a home game for every team. There are 30 Major League Baseball teams. And this is us a couple years ago. That's my dad on the left. That's my son Max in the middle, and my mom Sharon to the right. This is at a Baltimore Orioles game. So as a family, we always play baseball. My dad was a pretty good player. My son played throughout his youth, and my mom played as well. She liked to hit dingers. She played in softball rec league, and she was actually my 8th grade baseball coach at North Pines Junior High School, home of the Cubs. And so as mom came in and was our baseball coach, it's all we did. We played catch in the backyard and we played baseball. So one of the things that we like to do as a family is visit baseball and go see baseball teams and baseball games. And so this is a picture of us a couple of years ago. You can see it was still coming out of COVID. where people were wearing masks as an option there. Look at that handsome devil. And then look at the guy holding the baby. All right, so this is me and Tisha and our son Max. And so we have had a history of attending baseball games. This is Max is like a year and a half old. That was when I had some color in my hair. You can see it kind of going. This is 18 years ago. This is 18 years ago. This is at the Seattle. This is at the Chicago White Sox game. We would take our little kid to baseball games. Look how cute he is. Okay, throughout this is us at the Seattle, not keep on saying Seattle. This is us at the Los Angeles Dodgers. We have friends here that live there in Los Angeles, and so whenever we go down there, we try to see a Dodgers game. And you may notice the Dodgers and the Padres are playing in the divisional series right now. But anyway, that's Max is a little bit older. I have a million more pictures. I'm not going to give you all of our family pictures, but you can see growing up, our kids enjoyed it as well. So we have 3 kids, Max, who's now 19, and twin girls, Peyton and Ellie, who are 16. They're juniors at Robertson. So that's Max over on the left. That was in Las Vegas, Nevada when we were there. In the middle there, that's Peyton on the left, and Max, that's in Spokane, Washington when we moved back there, and that's Peyton again over on the right. They enjoyed it. As we grew up, that's Max there on the left. This is in Medford, Oregon. That's with his high school friends and high school team, South Medford, I think it was a Memorial Day tournament that they won. But we would spend a lot of our Saturdays and sometimes Sundays watching our kids play baseball. And there's a camaraderie, there's a community around that we just enjoyed. On the right, you may be wondering where that's at. That is in the middle of central Utah. So during World War II, with the internment camps of Japanese citizens, this is at Topaz. This is an internment camp in central Utah. The Japanese Americans, as they were in the camps, this camp had a baseball field. It was just an opportunity as a pastime to connect as a community around a game. And so we visited there with, Tisha is Japanese heritage. Her brother, actually at the Topaz Museum, her brother's an architect who designed the visitor center for Topaz. And so we visited that with Tisha's parents and her brother. But it was interesting to see how baseball played a role in their life as well. Okay, that's back. This is now the Kingdom is no longer. This is in Seattle. And can you guys hear the car alarm going off in the parking lot? Oh, just went off. That's our kids again. This is the new stadium in Seattle it was then called Safeco Field. It's now T-Mobile Park. You can see how baseball brings together communities with how many thousands of people get to go at games. And so this is our kids is a little bit older. They're Safeco Field now. A couple years ago, and this is Ellie, our daughter. A couple years ago, I was in Washington, D.C. for some meetings and brought Ellie along, and we caught a baseball game at the Washington National Stadium. It was a lot of fun. What I enjoy about it is it's an opportunity for me to spend time with my kids as well, as we're sitting there watching baseball. And there's Max another year. Max and I were in DC as well. So you can see the progression from a year and a half to 19 years old. We've made baseball part of our life. Okay, this is a pretty cool picture. Max, our son, my wife Tisha on the left, saved most of his jerseys for all the sports teams he was involved in. Many of those are baseball. You can see some basketball and other things mixed in there. But she made a quilt. Tisha's a pretty talented quilt maker, and she made a quilt out of all of his jerseys. And we have that at our house, and it's a proud thing that Tisha made. It kind of recognizes all of the many years of sporting activities, and particularly baseball, that we spent together as a family. Isn't that cool? I think Tisha's listening. She's watching. So shout out to Tisha. Nice job on the quilt.
That's very cool. This is Angel. I
Hey,
love
Angel,
that.
isn't that cool?
It's so cool.
It's huge too. Tisha, how big is that thing?
It's a king size, which I learned my lesson will never make again.
Well, it's a one of a kind, and by God, your son will have that for
Yeah,
many,
it's-
many years to come.
Yeah, we will cherish that for
Very cool.
a long time. Okay, so who knew there's going to be a tie between quilting and baseball? But there it is. All right, this is us. This is Tisha, me, and Tisha's sister in San Francisco, Patrice. So we've been to the stadium and Oracle Park there quite a bit in San Francisco. Tisha's sister lives there, so we often catch a game down there. Just a beautiful atmosphere and stadium that we just enjoy spending time in. In right field there, you can see that sometimes players can hit the ball into the bay, and they call that a splash hit. As of this year, this has been open for like 20 years. This was the first year that a right-handed hitter actually hit a home run into the bay. Okay, so I mentioned my one goal in life. This was one of my favorite Christmas presents from my wife Tisha. So you can see where the red dots, like if you look in Texas, see there's the T for Texas, that's Texas Rangers. If you've been to a stadium, you put a sticker on the city. So I've been to Texas. I've not been to Houston. I've never seen an Astros game. I don't know if I want to see an Astros game. Stinking Astros. A few years ago, if you didn't know, they had a big cheating scandal. And some of those players are still there. But where the sticker is filled in with the sticker of the baseball club, that's a team I visited. So out of the 30 teams, I've been able to attend 17. So it's again, before I leave this life, I want to see one game for every home team. Some of you may wonder, what's your favorite stadium, Neil? And so as for those of you who are wondering, let me tell you. One of my least favorite teams is the Boston Red Sox. Growing up as a Seattle Mariners fan, Boston Red Sox played in the American League, and the Mariners would play them a lot. So they were a rival, or not a rival, an adversary. So I never liked the Red Sox. But going to Fenway Park was probably my favorite experience so far. I've not been to Cubbies. I know people have strong feelings about the Chicago Cubs, but Fenway Park is over 100 years old, I think, and it's just a great experience. Okay. We're going to end on a couple fun things. All right, you ready? One of these is why baseball's fun, and this is the Tom Hanks clip. Then the last clip, I think, speaks better about what baseball besides family means to me and to our society in my ways. But we'll watch these last two clips.
Well, I'm a peach. Well, I was just wondering, because I couldn't figure out why you would throw home when we've got a 2-run lead.
Can you guys hear the volume? Okay, great.
You let the tying run get on second, and we lost the lead because of you. Now you start using your head. That's that left that's 3 feet above your ass. Are you crying?
No.
Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
Why don't you leave her alone, Jimmy?
Oh, you zip it, Doris. Rogers Hornsby was my manager, and he called me a talking pile of pig shit. And that was when my parents drove all the way down from Michigan to see me play the game. And did I cry?
No.
No. No. And you know why?
No.
Because there's no crying.
All right, there's no crying in baseball.
Well, I'm home when we've got a 2-run.
All right. Now this last clip is James Earl Jones, who just passed away. He played a character called Terrence Mann in one of the great movies of all time, I think, A Field of Dreams. And so if you're not familiar with the movie, a farmer in Iowa hears a voice from his father saying, build it and they will come. Build it and he will come. Build it and they will come. And so he ends up building a baseball field in a corn patch in the middle of Iowa. And the players behind them were players who have passed on that didn't get a chance to achieve what they wanted to in baseball. But the whole idea of the movie is a father connecting and a son connecting with his father who didn't connect with in life. But there's this scene here that I think says well about what baseball means to me and to I think a few others.
People will come, Ray.
Yeah.
They'll come to Iowa for reasons they can't even fathom. They turn up your driveway, not knowing for sure why they're doing it. They'll arrive at your door as innocent as children, longing for the past. Of course, we won't mind if you look around and you'll say, it's only $20 per person. They'll pass over the money without even thinking about it. For it is money they have and peace they like.
Ray, just sign the papers.
They'll walk out to the bleachers, sit in shirt sleeves on a perfect afternoon. They'll find you have reserved seats somewhere along the baselines. But they sat when they were children and cheered their heroes. And they'll watch the game. And it'll be as if they dipped themselves in magic waters. The memories will be so thick, they'll have to brush them away from their faces.
Ray, when the bank opens in the morning, they'll foreclose.
People will come, Ray.
You're broke, Ray. You sell now or you lose everything.
The one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball. America has rolled by like an army of steamrollers. It's been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again. But baseball marked the time. This field, this game, it's a part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good, and it could be again. Oh, people will come, Ray. People will most definitely come.
Ray,
Isn't that great? I think if there's a couple people to narrate my life, it'd be James Earl Jones or Morgan Freeman. But the one constant in my life has been baseball, just like James Earl Jones' character said. The one constant in my life has been family. And so having those two connected has been, I think, a big part of my development and a big part of how I think I see each other as a team. I grew up playing a lot of team sports, and a lot of my effort is in building teams and teamwork. And so as we close out, a couple minutes over time, but as we close that out, I hope there's a little bit of insight into me and why baseball is so important. Again, for me, it's something that I've always done with my family. And I'm really connected with my family, and so it's something that we'll always do together, I think. And so that's the rest of my talk. So I hope you had a good time just kind of checking out for a little bit and seeing something fun a little bit about me. So thank you for being here. If you want to talk baseball, I'd love to. I'm a big fan, and anyway, let me just also share with you my appreciation for all the things that you do as a member of the team. We may not be baseball players, but we're a member of the Highlands team. And so thank you for all that you do for our students, for each other, and for the city and for the state. Okay, thanks.